So number 96 in the textbook gives us a figure where you have a large square made up of all four of those smaller pieces, and it's A by A. And then the smaller square is B by B. So we're going to use this geometric diagram to help us explain how A squared minus B squared is equal to A minus B times A plus B. All right, so one thing I'm going to do when comparing A squared minus B squared to A minus B times A plus B is I'm going to multiply out this. So I'm going to get A squared. Oh, well, I know it's going to equal A squared minus B squared. So it's A squared plus AB minus AB minus B squared. All right, and then that's going to cancel out. So that didn't help. But that's math. You try something and then it doesn't help, and then you try something else. So this square is A by A. So if I color that in with my pen, all right, that's going to represent A squared. And then I have a little square here where this part is B and this part is B. So now if I subtract B squared, now this part gets eliminated. So now we have these three other regions. Okay. Now we can, if this whole side here is A, then this side here, from there to there, that length, is going to be A, or, well, that's just going to be B. We know that. And this part here, from here to here, is going to be A minus B. So like this whole side here is A. You subtract B, so you have A minus B. So if we were expressing the area of this rectangle here, we can write it as A minus B times B. Right, so this length times that length. And then we have this part here, which is, so this part up here is B, we know from the bottom. And then this whole side is A, and we can subtract B. So that's A minus B, gives us this length from here to here. So this rectangle also can be expressed as B times A minus B. Okay. So we know that this side is A minus B, and we know that this side is A minus B. So this area we can express as A minus B squared. All right? So remember that A squared minus B squared is just equal to this whole big square minus this part. So you can also express it as these smaller parts. So another way to express it would be A minus B squared plus A minus B times B, which is this area, but then also times 2 because there's 2 of them. All right, so now I'm going to multiply this out, and I get A squared minus 2AB plus B squared for this part. And then when you distribute the 2B in, we get plus 2AB from doing 2 times B times A, and then minus 2B squared by doing 2 times B times B. So then these parts will cancel out. So you get A squared minus B squared, or sorry, plus B squared minus 2B squared. And then B squared minus 2B squared is going to be negative B squared. Okay, so to recap all of that in 96 part A, we're going to express A squared minus B squared, which represents this whole square minus the smaller square, as that, but then also as the sum of these three parts. So you have to find the length and width of these rectangles, and add them all up, and then you see that they simplify to the same thing. All right, so that's part A, and I'll pause it and make a separate video for part B.